Welcome back on this journey of our Jimny build. Today we'll be installing a full suspension kit by Ironman right here at Tiger Wheel and Tire Walmart. It's a very nice place and there is an awesome team over there, so if you have a Jimny or any other vehicle and you need tires done or suspension, you can come to them. So the kit we'll be installing includes 4 shocks, 4 coils, a foam cell steering dampener, castor correction bushes, headlight sensor bracket, extended brake hoses, and a cross-membered drop kit. So enjoy. This is the measurement before we did anything on the vehicle, and after we've done everything you'll see another measurement to show where we ended up on the B coils, and then finally there'll be another measurement to show where we ended up on the C coils.
Dangerous time, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
Okay, so over here you can clearly see a difference between the OEM spring and the B spring that's going to go in. Over here you can see a clear difference between the Ironman shock and the OEM shocks. The Ironman is much thicker, it's got more surface area to cool down, and it is a nitro gas shock. It's not a foam cell, but it's good enough for this car. Over here you can see the shocks are not bolted in yet. The arms are being taken out so the new castor correction bushes can be installed. The left hand side has been taken out and it'll be followed by the right hand side, and that's what you're going to see next. So the old one has to be pressed out with the hydraulic press carefully without damaging the arm, and the new one is then installed. And you follow this process for both arms, and there will be a new angle to cater for the lift. Okay, so once the castor correction bushes are put in, The arms are placed back into the vehicle, and then we move to the rear side of the suspension, which is the easier part. This right here is the brake line that will be extended for the lift, because if you don't extend it, then it's going to be sort of stretched out. So at some stage or another, you're going to see that being extended. Now you can see the new springs going in at the back. The back is much easier to fit. There's a lot more space, but you can see even at this point in time, the brake line is quite stretched. So we will be putting in a new brake line, and you'll see that in the clip. Over here you quickly see the effect of a vehicle just with springs and no shocks, and the effect that the shocks play in the whole suspension system. So the springs compress, but compressing springs like this could cause you to lose control. You need a device that will help you to sort of control that energy in the compression and also in the release. So this is why you have shock absorbers. Many people think that the shock absorber absorbs the shock or the bump, but actually what happens is the spring absorbs the bump and the shock absorber just controls that energy and releases it so that the car remains stable. So up next we move on to fitting the steering dampener, which is a much bigger one. You can see the one they're taking out over there is very slim, very small, and it was very, very loose. Now you can see it's taken off. It's quite a mission to get the original one off, but once you get it off, it's quite easy to actually get the new one put on. So you see the new one going in over there, and it's much, much bigger, much fatter, and it just controls the steering dampening much better, so that the steering doesn't just spin back at you when you're out on course. It's more controlled and slow, and it dampens that energy. So right now you see the crossmember drop kit being installed, and this is very important because as you lift the vehicle, the front drive shaft actually drops, and it can make contact with the crossmember if it's not shifted. So this is dropped slightly to cater for that, to cater for the lift, and it is the final piece of the puzzle. After doing this, the whole suspension kit is complete. And lastly, we do an alignment, but that's not included in this video.
The night shift speed.
715 of 715. Write it down.
71.5.
Yeah. 720. $730.
Yeah.
And 720.
This is a drive I took after the fitment of the suspension, and there was a drastic change. The first thing you would notice is the car is a bit more bumpy on the road, but that should be expected with 4x4 suspension. But there was far less body roll, far less wind pushing the car around. It was reduced drastically, and it wasn't also too hard. However, the B coil springs proved to be a bit soft because we are modding out this car and we're doing a build, so a lot more weight is going to be added to it. So we decided to actually change to the C springs, which is basically 200 to 400 kg extra per side. So you're going to see a video on that soon. But enjoy as I go down this little hilly section with the B coil springs.
The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul.
So these are the new C coil springs. Installation wasn't recorded while it was being done, but it's very simple. We just popped out the B coil springs and we put the C's in. The C's can hold from 0 to 200 kg on each side. Well, actually, the C's can hold from 200 to 400 kgs on each side, and we just added that on because this car has had a lot of accessories added on. So at the back, both sides, there's C-rated coils, and at the front, it's the same story, also C-rated coils. As you can see, I did a bit of testing, had a nice off-road, and it was awesome. So when starting out, this car stock standard was 65 centimeters high at the front, 67 at the back. After installing the B-type springs, we went to 71.5 on the left-hand front, 72 at the right, 72 at the left-hand back, and 73.5 at the left-hand right. After upgrading to the C-type springs, it can carry more weight. I believe it's 200 to 400 kg per spring extra. We went to 72.5 on the left-hand front and 73 on the right, and 74 on the left-hand rear and 75.5 on the right-hand rear. So in concluding, after I do 500 to 1000 extra Ks, I will come back and do a review on the Ironman suspension system with the C-type springs. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.